everybody, George Washington here, and I'm going to unpack my latest package that I got from trendsjackers.etsy.com. This is so cool. This is going to be a t-shirt that I got right here. No lie, because you know I wouldn't lie. This is one of the coolest t-shirts ever. 1776 to 2026. It's me rocking out on Eddie Van Halen's guitar. What's more American than that? So check it out. Link is in the bio. Get yours today and represent America the rockin' way. Ha ha.
Long story short, they're putting together a cop movie with Vin Diesel, and they're looking for an unknown to play his funny sidekick. So she wants me to come down and audition.
Congratulations, big good command. I keep getting in the ring, only keep getting knocked out. And this was supposed to be my time, George.
Whatever happens, happens. The thing is to keep your head in the game. Persevere. Consistent persistence, my friend.
It's called show business, not show friends, okay?
You guys are unbelievable. Holy
Hey, my name is Billy Ward. I've been a professional stand-up comedian for over 30 years.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am so happy to be here tonight.
Yeah, 30 years. And I'm still waiting for my big break.
All right, fuck it, comedy time.
But honestly, at this point, my big break is probably a hip. Comedy? Maybe I should have picked a different career. Funeral director would have been more uplifting. I've worked at this club forever, and I've seen it all. Great comics, terrible comics, customers who think 2-drink minimum means 2 drinks for the entire table.
He's trying.
Look, I can't complain. I got a great boss, good friends, and just enough craziness to keep things interesting. Truth is, life hasn't always been easy. I battled addiction, made some bad decisions. Okay, mostly bad decisions.
All I get is bitching and complaining from you. Always feeling sorry for yourself, man.
But somehow, I always land on my feet. And then one day, life threw me a curveball.
You didn't tell me you have a daughter.
I don't have a daughter.
A daughter. Turns out after all these years, the biggest thing that happened to me wasn't in comedy. It was family. Because life's not a drama, it's a comedy. And if you're not laughing, you're probably crying.
I'll be giving hand job for whiskey in a week.
Either way, you're gonna need a ticket.
What if the way you handle conflict is actually making things worse? Think about it. Arguments that go nowhere, tension that builds, conversations that end with more damage than resolution. I'm Pat Rodgers, mediator and founder of Cross County Mediation, turning conflict into clarity. On this podcast, we break down real conflict, workplace, personal, business, and give you clear, practical ways to handle it differently and better. You'll learn how to stay in control, communicate with purpose, move conversations toward resolution instead of escalation. because winning the argument doesn't fix the problem. Resolution does. Tune in to the Global Podcast Network and start turning conflict into clarity. Okay, welcome to the Cross County Mediation Podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Rodgers. Today's guest, Jerry Snell, embodies what it means to dedicate your life to service. Before founding Long Beach Waterfront Warriors, Jerry spent years protecting the people in New York City as a firefighter. After retiring from the FDNY, he continued his mission of helping others by supporting our nation's wounded veterans and their families. And what better guest to have on tonight as we celebrate 250 years of freedom in the United States, Jerry Snell. So please join me in welcoming Jerry, founder of Waterfront Warriors and retired New York City firefighter. Jerry, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Pat.
It's awesome. Jerry, before we talk about the Long Beach Waterfront Warriors, could you just tell me a little bit about your career with the New York City Fire Department?
I graduated John Jay College in the early 70s. City was kind of financially in trouble, so it was hard to get a job. I was taking a lot of civil service jobs, civil service tests, and fortunately in 1979 I got hired in the New York City Fire Department. Went to Engine 221, Ladder 104 in Brooklyn. Was there through the 90s. Made lieutenant, worked out in Queens, ended up in Rockaway, and after 9/11 I got promoted to captain, and I ended up back in Brooklyn in the 15th Division.
Oh, I didn't realize you were a captain. Nice work.
That's okay.
Nice work. So what inspired you to become a firefighter?
I didn't know that much about the fire department. I was interested in it, but I was not from a fire department family. So I knew some guys who encouraged kids in the neighborhood to take the test. So I had taken the test earlier, and the list had been compromised by politics. So the next test I did okay, and I got hired in '79. I was really looking forward to it, but I didn't know what it entailed to be a fireman. Not at all. I had no family guys telling me about exactly what it's like.
Yeah. Did it meet your expectations?
Oh my God, the fire department is the greatest job in the world. New York City Fire Department, greatest job in the world.
Why is that? What really resonates for you when you think about your career and looking back and first joining and then, moving up the ladder?
The best part of my career was as a fireman. The whole career was great. Best part was as a fireman because I met so many great firemen it was the 3-4 Battalion in Brooklyn. It was like legends. The chiefs were legends. The officers were legends. They had gone through the war years in the 60s when the city was burning. These guys were real smoke eaters. They didn't wear masks. They went into fires. They were incredibly brave guys. I mean, just tremendous guys to learn from. And as I was working, realizing like these guys were superstars. There was a lot of veterans, a lot of Vietnam combat veterans. When I came to the firehouse, it was a bunch of guys who had been shot up, got on the fire department. I mean, just courageous guys. And it was just great. The atmosphere, the brotherhood, guys stick together. Firemen watch out for other firemen, on and off duty. It's just a great atmosphere.
Yeah. When you talked about the heroes and the smoke eaters, it reminds me, my cousin, the little family, we keep it in the family. So just so the guests know that, Jerry and I did a little fire geography and Irish geography, and we found out that he worked with my cousin Greg Smith, and Greg also had a friend Harry Ford, and Denise Ford is a legislator from Nassau County, and I know he passed away in the Father's Day fire. So did you know Harry? And
Harry was a neighbor of mine in Long Beach. He was in ladder 108. I was in ladder 104 with Greg Smith. By the way, sent some on. Firefighter Greg Smith won the Bennett Medal, the highest award in the New York City Fire Department. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. See, that's our family. We don't talk about the good things.
Oh, I'm talking about Greg Smith.
Yeah.
Highest award in the fire department. Greg Smith won. Yeah. So Harry Ford was a great fireman. If you were in a fire, and Harry was there, you knew you were safe.
Mm.
He would get you out.
Wow.
And he was a fantastic guy, fantastic fireman, and then his wife became the legislator after that.
Yeah.
She just gave it up.
Yeah.
About a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and then
Great
Patrick
woman.
Mullaney took it. Yeah,
Patrick Mullaney.
Yeah, there was actually a dinner for the parish had a dinner and they were honoring her, and I brought Greg actually as my guest, so it was pretty cool that we made that connection. So
Yeah.
I love closing those circles, you know.
Yeah.
It's really important in
They
life.
just had an anniversary at the location of the Father's Day fire. So firemen from all over came in uniform.
Wow.
To honor the three families. Yeah.
This past Father's Day?
Yeah. Well, it was 3 days before.
3
was
days.
The date.
Okay.
So I believe it was Thursday. Tons of guys responded. Their guys flew up there. Eddie Zielman came up from Florida since we're named Jobman.
Yeah.
From Rescue 4. He was over there. A bunch of people.
Yeah, that's
incredible. Part of the camaraderie. People staying together after all these years. I just happened to be out at the Downey, another great event. They have the Downey Father's Day race. And there's thousands of people there from many generations in the fire department and their families. There's like 4,000 or 5,000 people run this race in honor of Ray Downey.
Chief, right?
Deputy chief in charge of rescue.
Mhm.
World famous. You know, nicknamed God. That's his nickname.
That's a hell of a nickname. I usually, when I say that, my wife answers me.
Are they going to edit this?
No, she knows. She's been a butt of my jokes before. So, you know, it's funny. I just had to talk about my wife. She's incredible. But it just reminds me of, you know, when you give people nicknames. You know, I went to the Islander games I'm a Ranger fan, but I went to the Islander games a couple of times. And I realized that the number 22 was Bossy.
Right,
you know, but so my
Mike
wife's,
Bossy.
yeah, Mike Bossy. So my wife's birthday is the 22nd of October. So I was going to buy that jersey.
The 22 jersey.
Bossy.
I hope you were broke that night. I hope you didn't have the fun.
Yeah, definitely not. You know, firefighters and military personnel, I think, you know, you touched upon it, but could you just kind of expound upon, you know, what they bring to the table, that same kind of, you know, you talked about the, you know, the smoke eaters and just that ability to run to danger and not away from it. What separates those what makes those people? Where, you know, who?
Well, there's a lot of tradition in the fire department. So there's a lot of great firehouses. When you go into a firehouse, you're probationary fire, or probie they call it, and you learn from the guys who've been there for years. You know, so I remember when I was in probie school, they said we're going to teach you a lot, but you're going to go to the firehouse and you're going to find some gray-haired guy with a crew cut, and that guy's been fighting fires for 20 years, and that's what he does. And guys work in the same firehouses, you know, farther travel to work, to stay in busy areas, and some of these guys are just incredible firemen. So they look out for you, they teach you, they don't demean you, and they teach you how to be a fireman. And it's a fantastic way to pass along the traditions of the fire department. And there are a lot of traditions, brothers looking after brothers.
So after you, when did you retire? What year did you retire?
I retired September 30th, 2006, reluctantly.
Reluctantly.
Yeah.
And how far after you retired did you start working with veterans? Did you start working with veterans first, and then did you founded Long Beach Waterfront Warriors? How did that come about?
Here's how it came about. John McLaughlin, retired fireman. In Rockaway, they still have it. It's still going on. They bring soldiers, Marines, you know, up from Walter Reed, but they bring up the individual soldiers. And I think Walter Reed funded it. They would bring them up to Rockaway, and they'd do adaptive sports. They would stay in people's houses. And what happens when somebody gets injured in Iraq or Afghanistan, if they're severely injured, oftentimes their family moves up to Walter Reed and lives on campus. So they're from whatever town, you know, Florida, anywhere. Now their children are displaced, their wives are displaced. They're living in one of the richest communities in the world. And the people there go to private schools, so their whole life is in upheaval. So when we saw what was happening in Rockaway, the guys were coming up, mostly men, and the families were staying back. So John McLaughlin came up with the idea for the Waterfront Warriors, not me.
Okay.
And
Is John still involved?
yeah.
Excellent.
So what I was hoping for and what we talked about was that we bring the families up. So that's what we do. That's a little different than Rockaway. So when we bring people up, all the fundraising's already done. They're on vacation with their family. In the beginning, when we started, some of the guys were the first time they were out in public. And most of them are probably the best athlete in their high school, the best sports this, the best lacrosse player, the best football player.
Wow.
And some of them are severely injured, and they're out in public. So we don't have any publicity. We don't take pictures of them. They're up on vacation with their family. The benefit of being in Long Beach is that we're at the Allegria Hotel. We're right on the beach. Scoot and Surf comes down, teaches them surfing. You have amputees on surfboards. And these guys end up, we have these Moby chairs that we can get them out in the ocean. They're safer than the people watching them. So for the first time, some of the guys who did not know they'd be able to enjoy the beach with their children are able to do that. And one of the things we do, again, by Scoot and Surf, is we go to American Dream in New Jersey, and they have a wave pool where they press a button, and the waves come perfectly for like 2 hours. So the same thing. We have guys catching the surfboards and the children and the parents. Everybody surfs. So it's incredible to see guys surfing with their kids or double amputees, single amputees. They're surfing with their children. So the whole family gets to enjoy that experience. And some of them said they didn't think they'd ever be able to experience that again.
How does the Long Beach community support the Waterfront Warriors? How are they involved?
If we didn't have the support of the community, there's a guy, Pete Jack, who owns the Inn, and Sandra Prado, who owns Rock and Olive. They give us fundraisers every year since we started. It used to be Rich McCarthy had Lola's. Sandra Prado worked there. Now she owns it, changed it to Rock and Olive. So we have 2 fundraisers a year. People support it. Shattered, a band, a bunch of firemen from 50 and 19. Okay, Plankin, I'm mentioning him, right? And Sorensen. They're going to be up. Shattered is going to come up and play for us for free, They're a very popular band. They come up. We're having a fundraiser in September at the Inn in Long Beach. So those are the 2 fundraisers, but we sell shirts, and people in Long Beach are very generous. And honestly, we don't go crazy with the fundraising. We're not really set up that way. So if it wasn't for the generosity of people, we wouldn't exist. So the people in Long Beach are incredibly generous. There's a number of charities in Long Beach that are fantastic. They have Make-A-Wish, the Polar Bears.
Sure.
They have the Michelle O'Neill. And the whole community comes out. So I'll just jump to July 19th, because we have a 5K and a parade on Sunday, July 19th. There's a fun run, same thing. You get the opportunity to run or walk with these guys who are up here with their families. Some of the guys are up there with the service dogs going down the boardwalk. It's mobs. And then in the afternoon is a parade through the west end of Long Beach, ending up at Long Beach Catholic Regional School. Have thousands of people on the west end come out and cheer them. And every family, every individual gets a convertible, and they parade through Long Beach into the Catholic school. It's fantastic. People line the streets. They have the fire department puts up arches every couple of blocks. All these guys are volunteers. You have a flyover. Patrick Mullaney is arranging a flyover this year. It's going to be great. We have a band there. Current Company, I believe it is, and a young band, something I don't know anything about.
Probably better off.
Yeah, better off. I don't know. But I mean, they have free barbecue, hot dogs, hamburgers, and everything. The whole thing is open. All of it's paid for before. So anybody from the community could come, march with them, observe the parade, come in for a barbecue, listen to a band. It's really nice.
So, how many families come up now? Say for this event on
This
July
event,
19th.
July 18th, they're coming
July
up
18th.
Saturdays like
that
a
happens to
travel
be
day.
my mother's birthday, so that's
It's a good day. Not
it's a good day. It's a good day.
This year we have 14 families, 57 or 60 people. We're just waiting on another little family. So there's a bunch of Marines. We have a couple of Gold Star families. If you don't know, those are families who have lost their loved one. So some of these guys have given a lot, and some of the families have given their loved ones. We also have a family from Connecticut whose husband was killed line of duty, police officer, and they're coming up. So we have about 27 children coming. Wow. And 14 families. So it's fantastic. And some of them are repeats. Some of them we've kind of adopted, and we also have 4 new families. So every year we try and introduce new people, and we kind of ask people if they have somebody that they would recommend to come. And we tell them, if you recommend a couple of families, you're not coming. And but they're
One
great.
man's gain is another man's loss.
And they know it. They know it. We
Well,
say it with a
good though,
smile,
right?
but
yeah.
well, they're reaching out to guys they know, they think would benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So their experience, they're passing on to somebody else. And really, how we do it is they send a text message. This is Jerry Snell from the Waterfront Warriors. I was on this trip, and that's my introduction to them. And then I meet them, through text and telephone calls, and they already think that we're a good organization from their friend. They're some of the guys they served in combat with. They say this is a good deal, so they do our recruiting now. Hopefully Walter Reed is not filled again like it was 15, 20 years ago.
Tell me a little bit more about that. What you just said about Walter Reed not being filled like it was 15 years ago.
Well, it was the middle of 2 wars. As time went on, we used to go down. We would go down every 2-4 weeks to Walter Reed. We'd bring PlayStations, Xboxes. So the guys would get injured. They'd get flown to Germany, stabilized, flown to Walter Reed, and then their family would come up, and they lived in Building 62. There was a hospital, rehab, etc. But they lived there, so they had, the adaptive bathrooms, and but that's where they lived. So we would go down, meet them in the Warrior Cafe, and there'd be 200 guys who were amputees at one time. And at one time when we first went there, you had to see a social worker to visit because it's overwhelming. Yeah. So, like I said, hopefully that that doesn't come back.
So, how do you think you live such a life of service? Where do you think that origin? Where does that come from for you?
Well, there was a couple of things, especially with this. My brother died in Vietnam in 1969, 12/16/69. So he went into the 173rd Airborne when he was 17 years old, and he went in less than 3 years. A couple of weeks before he was going to come home, he passed away. So I always had that. My mother was in the Women's Army Corps during World War II.
Okay.
I said, "Why'd you join the Army?" She goes, "They bombed our country." So she was an officer in the Women's Army Corps. My father was a military guy. Both of my brothers during Vietnam volunteered for the service. Wow. So there was whatever controversy was going on in Vietnam, they were
volunteers.
They both volunteered. So
they were older brothers?
Both older brothers. My brother was 17 and joined the Army to be a paratrooper.
And what was his name?
Raleigh Snell. Sergeant Raleigh Snell.
Raleigh?
Yeah. Raleigh
Snell.
R-A-L-E-I-G-H, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that was always in the back of my
Is
mind.
that the one who passed away? Raleigh passed away?
Raleigh passed away.
Sorry
so
loss,
my father was also Raleigh Snell, another sergeant, staff sergeant, outranked him. But that was one of the things in the back of my mind, always. How could you make a positive out of it by trying to help other people? So when John came up with this idea, I said, I'm in. But like I said, the last 2 years in the fire department, I got diagnosed with some lung issues, so I wasn't allowed to work in the firehouse anymore, so I was helping out in the counseling unit. Excuse me. And I saw how 9/11 affected firemen, but also their families. So they had this devastating 9/11. Then they had a change of work schedule. Then they were working in the firehouses and volunteering at the pit at the World Trade Center. Many houses lost 12, 13 guys. Some houses 3, 4 guys. So the Brotherhood of the Firemen, they had to take care of those families. So there was firemen who were working around the clock. They were either working in the firehouse, they'd leave the firehouse, go to the World Trade Center. Then they're driving their brother who passed away. They're helping their kids and rebuilding their houses. So it impacted a lot of fire families, and I saw that in the counseling unit, not just the firemen, but the kids. And when I saw that coming into their home, they didn't just knock down the building, now they're affecting families, entire families. So I know that if somebody goes in the Marine Corps, I know how my brother's death affected my family. But you see guys come back, these Marines, young guys, who are trying to build a life again. Obviously, they're not going to go back to the Marine Corps, although some of them do stay. You just see how it impacts their life, everything. All their goals are changed, all their plans are changed, and they're adapting. So to give them, we have a couple of vacations a week, a couple of vacations a year in December. The one in July is better because of the beach. But to give them a week's respite,
Sure.
like they already paid, you know, they already gave.
Yeah.
So to give them a week's vacation on the beach, and we had this great trip to the city. I'll plug another firehouse.
Please do.
Engine 54, Ladder 4 in Christmas, Battalion 9.
8th
Yeah.
Avenue.
Yeah, they give
Alan Feinberg was in that.
Yeah.
Did you know Alan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they put their rigs outside, and they have a gigantic Italian meal. Joe C., who cooked for President Obama and a few other people, because it's the center of New York City, right?
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
We call him up. He tells us he's retired right now, and they make this fantastic Italian meal. We go to Radio City. We go to St. Pat's. We go to the firehouse. They get to meet all the firemen. It's a bunch of veterans in that house, and it's great. You know, they really take care of them like the family, like the brotherhood. And then Rescue 1 was fantastic. We go to Jersey. They surf all morning. We have Rescue 1 rash guards, and we go to Rescue 1. They do the same thing. They put the barbecues in the street, put the rigs in the street, and they have a gigantic barbecue for them. And one time I was told, this is not my event anymore. This is our event. This is Rescue's event. I said, perfect. They do an unbelievable job.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, just the resilience that you, show, and firemen show, and military people show. You could just kind of give me your feeling of what resilience means and how it affects your life.
I don't know about it. I like to observe other people. So I've seen a lot of people who've gone through tremendous loss in the fire department and just moved on. So there's many examples. When I was at the World Trade Center, there were fathers there in uniform who were retired for years, digging for months, looking for their loved ones. And they had friends who did not lose someone. So there was fathers looking for sons, sons looking for brothers, and just to see guys who were retired working in the pit, I would see them every day, day after day. And they all didn't lose a loved one, but they all came back from across the country. Firemen came back and tried to help the fathers and the brothers look for the lost firemen. It was fantastic. So I remember I was down there. I was a lieutenant then. I had like 4 guys with me. They were pretty young, in their 20s. And I would bring them over to Eddie Cunningham, who was retired. He was a big chief in the fire department, Long Beach guy. And I would introduce the young fireman to Eddie Cunningham. I said, that's what the job's about. This guy's retired, and he's down here every day trying to help guys find their sons. Really remarkable people.
What with the Waterfront Warriors, what's a pivotal moment for you that really, really wanted you to help these veterans. Do you recall any particular moment or meeting an individual that really resonated with you, and you wanted to really dive into this charity?
There's so many. Same thing. There are guys down there who've done incredible. Just incredibly brave action. And like I said, some have given body parts, literally. You're down there with all these amputees who maintain, like the Marines. You're still a Marine. You know what I mean? You act like one. And they do it, So I've met, Master Sergeant John Hayes, Sergeant Luis Ramac. I could go on, Adam Devine. I've met so many guys who I admire, guys who are 20, 30 years younger than me. I just see how they conduct themselves now and how they raise their families. It's remarkable.
You mentioned one day when we were talking something about a paper cut. Could you talk about that story?
All right, I'm not going to drop names.
That's fine.
I was in the Warrior Cafe with a double amputee sergeant, and who had saved the guy next to him, who was a couple of Purple Heart sergeant, and they had come up on vacation, so we were pretty friendly. They were talking freely, so they said, we got to get over to the hospital. The guy's not acting like a Marine. So I said, what do you mean? What's going on? And John goes, the guy's got a paper cut and he's over there complaining. So I said, what's a paper cut? He goes, it's a single below knee amputee. Paper cut. So I'm sitting with 4 Purple Hearts, these 2 guys in front of me, and they're going to go tell a Marine in the hospital, start acting like a Marine. You got a paper cut. And that's what they call it. That's how they, however they adapt to it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, how they work with it. But in there, you're a Marine. Act like a Marine. He was I don't know exactly what the situation was, but these guys blown up, heavily medicated, but they went over to tell him. But I was like, a what? A paper cut?
You did tell me that story, and I just had to. I was pretty taken aback by that. And this whole podcast, Jerry, thank you for coming on. I mean, I'm blown away by it, really, and I appreciate what you do for service for the veterans. What role do the volunteers play for you in this the Waterfront Warriors? What role do they play, and how important is that for you?
Well, we've never paid anybody to do anything, right? So our money, 98, 7, whatever, pennies on a dollar, goes right back to the soldiers. We buy shirts or sell them or donate or whatever. Everything goes back to the soldiers. So we have, the Scudden family gives the free surf lessons. We go to American Dream and surf. We couldn't afford that. The firehouses are very generous. There's just generosity. Like I said, Pete Jack at the Inn, Sandra at Rock and Olive, they have these fundraisers. I mean, we couldn't exist without it. But the best thing I could tell you or anybody who wants to volunteer is come down and see what the soldiers and the Marines do with their families, interact with them. So we have this, I stole from the fire department. We have breakfast goes into lunch, goes into dinner on the beach. There's food all day, come down from the hotel whenever you want. Leave your kids on the beach, we'll watch them. So we have women, we have guys, girls, and kids who watch their kids. We have our own section on the beach, a national, and you get to interact with the families, and they surf right there, they boogie board right there. We have our own little corner of the beach, and you get to interact with these people and see that they're people. Not an image, not one of the things you see on a picture, but you see the families coping and flourishing after tremendous, life-threatening, life-changing injuries. You see these families flourishing. It's wonderful. Be a part of it. Just to run the boardwalk with one of those families is heartbreaking. It's just overwhelming. Yeah.
So just tell me a little bit that because that's interesting to me. When you're doing that, what is it? The type of feeling you're getting? I mean, is it a spiritual experience? I mean, what kind of experience is for you when you're doing that? Because you seem really.
We were running. John Hayes, Master Sergeant John Hayes, was up with his family. So he's got John Jr. is running. He's about this big, so about 8 or 9 years old. So John's in a wheelchair with a service dog. We're running with his son. His daughters we're pushing the wheelchair or not. The dog's pulling the wheelchair. To see that family interact, we're rooting for his son, John Jr. It's overwhelming. It's so great. Last year, me and this boy Walker Smith ran with this young lady, Bryn Lee Kasky. It was great. We finished the line together. There's no better example I could give to my son than to see helping other people, how rewarding it is. Yeah.
So it's important. It's a family legacy, really. I mean, you're talking about your son.
Well, my son was doing it as a junior lifeguard. He said, if you're off, come down the beach. He was working for Scoot and Surf as a surf instructor. If you're off, come down the beach and help out. When he moved up to lifeguard, when you're off, come down. So he would come down. And one day I was saying, there was some guy kidding around. He was a quadruple amputee, John Peck. And he was telling me, I thought you were going to get me in the water. You know what I mean? He's a quadruple amputee.
Wow.
And he went up with his mother to leave. And I begin to tell my son, if you ever hear me complain, he goes, Dad, I get it. So to see these people thrive, complaint department's closed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough. And did you ever hear any of them complain when they're?
No, that's what I'm telling you. They don't. They do not.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, and they're not provided the services that they could have, which is a shame. But you don't hear them complain.
Well, that's an important aspect you just brought up. So why don't we talk about that?
I'm not a service member, and I'm not even going to go into that field.
Well, just for example, when you say they don't receive the services that they need, is that from the veteran services?
I don't know. Here's my opinion.
Yeah, that's...
If any one of those guys needed a house, they should get it. They shouldn't have to pay taxes. There's so many things these guys have already given. So, for them to struggle for benefits, or for housing, or I'll bring up Tunnel to Towers. They're doing veterans housing all across the country. They're building smart homes for these guys. That's a private organization who does fantastic work. We support it. The Waterfront Warriors just had 60 people do the tower climb. You're one of them.
I crawled. I didn't climb.
But they had the tower climb 104 floors. So
Amazing.
We all raised money.
Amazing.
Because they are building houses. Anybody who comes to them who's been injured, they build them smart homes. If they lose their loved one, they pay off their mortgage. If a police officer gets killed in a line of duty, fireman gets killed in a line of duty, Frank Siller and Tunnel to Tower, Steven Siller organization, comes and pays their mortgage. And so I'm not going to talk about government or what services the guys could get. There are places, avenues, positive avenues, and the Siller Foundation, Tunnel to Towers, it's like the beacon.
Amazing.
They have veterans housing going up all across the country. They are providing college educations to all of those children, paid now. You lost your loved one, your kids go to college for free. That's Frank Siller and the Tunnel to Towers.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's,
it's
instead
amazing
of being
organization.
negative, just look at the positive. He has turned hundreds and thousands of people support that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
And
organization.
they're doing actually one on Long Island and doing one in Island Park.
They're doing one in Island Park.
We were just at the groundbreaking, right?
Everybody from Long Beach was down
yes.
there. Yeah, Pat Mullaney.
Yeah,
all the guys.
absolutely.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. It's really an amazing organization. I have to tell you, I've always seen I've seen it on TV, and I've seen Frank Siller, but when he spoke, and he talked about his brother, like you talked about.
Yeah, sometimes you think about it, right? It really gets to you. And just because I don't know who's listening, Steven Siller was in Squad 1, was off duty. They closed the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, so he took all his gear and he ran through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, and he perished in the towers. So those are the kind of guys that I could look at in the fire department and say, like, this is the greatest job in the world.
Yeah.
Firemen were coming from all over the country to the World Trade Center. Retired guys, off-duty guys. Many off-duty guys got killed there. Many retired guys are suffering from cancer now from working there. And I just want to say out loud, the firemen knew that the air was not good for them. Okay, so no politics.
Yeah.
But when they were saying the air was good, we knew it was not. But guys kept working. So now some of the retirees are suffering the same illnesses as some of the firemen.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around that, because of these guys, they've run to the danger. They ran up the staircase. They were running up the staircase to help people, to get people out.
Mhm.
They still do it. Where does that come from? Where does that come from? It's so hard to wrap my head around that. I mean, I love to help people, but I've never done that. My wife calls me Dudley Do-Right, which is, I got that from my dad. Being the youngest of 8, we'd have 10 people in the car, and he would pull over on the side of the road and try to help
Change the
somebody.
tire, right?
Yeah, and help somebody, and so is that is that in somebody's DNA?
Well, you got me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that when I was in the fire department and in this with these Marines and soldiers and Coast Guard, all of them, it's like being in a table with angels, Yeah.
So how can people get in touch with your organization if they want to come down on the 18th and volunteer?
Yeah.
Buy some T-shirts?
Yeah, they're selling T-shirts at the Long Beach Catholic Regional School on New York and Broadway. And I encourage anybody that'd like to come down to the parade. It's fantastic. I think I said it before, but every family, every soldier, every Marine gets in a convertible over at the VFW. They go through the parade. We have New York City fire riders. I got to mention them. John Roque, Billy Dennis, who's a comedian. I don't know if he made it to Governors, but
maybe we can.
Billy Bingo.
Bingo.
Yeah, I guess he has.
There's
There you go.
There's my name drop. So I just called Billy Bingo, and he said it's on the calendar. And then he sent me a picture of the calendar for the 19th. So the cars are escorted by New York City fire riders, a motorcycle on each side, through the whole west end of Long Beach. Like I said, there's...
Where does it start?
It starts on Ohio. Comes to New York to
Makes a
Catholic
right on
school.
New York.
It comes right into the Catholic school schoolyard. Like I said, we have a band, current company, have free barbecue, hamburgers, hot dogs, etc. And it's fantastic. But it's just so overwhelming to see all the people in Long Beach out there waving flags, hanging out. We're going to have a gigantic crowd this year. We're going to have watch parties at all the restaurants and bars along the way. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So come on down. Check it out. Come down to... The fun run is fantastic. Yeah, you get to run with these guys.
I'll do the fun crawl again.
Yeah, they have the fun walk.
the fun walk. So, in the current atmosphere, in this different world that we live in, what advice would you give to a young police officer, fireman, or someone, maybe thinking about joining the military? What advice would you give a young man?
I'm not. I was never in the service, so I have nothing there. My son is a police officer in Nassau County Police Department.
Did you see the picture that we put up before the podcast with Commissioner Ryder?
I saw Pat Ryder. I was wondering if that was him.
Pat Ryder. Yeah. I
He's
see
a
him
great
every
guy.
once. A really good guy.
He's a great guy.
Where's your son a police officer?
He's in the 4th precinct.
The 4th. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, surrounds Long Beach.
Ah.
Yeah.
I'll have to look for his name tag next time I get in trouble.
Don't worry. Are you gonna edit this?
Yeah. No, when you get pulled over.
Yeah, I know. That's when you remember. Joey Snow's my best friend.
So
there he is. There's Commissioner Ryder.
There you go.
Great guy.
See, there you go. Really good commissioner. How has this this journey you've been on with the Waterfront Warriors changed you personally?
It keeps me busy. You know what I mean? Because the day they leave, a few days later, we buy 25 rooms in the Allegria for December, and we start recruiting, and we got to meet new guys. We got to do all the preparation. It's, like you said, this goes back to the volunteers. There's people who take sections of this organization and run it. I honestly, on some level, I don't even know what they do. I see the results, but I don't know how they do it. Like tomorrow, we'll have a fire truck at Long Beach Catholic Regional School. We're putting up a flag, a big 30 by 60 flag in the Catholic school. And we'll have a fire truck there. We'll have like 50 guys helping, and that marks July 4th. And also, like I said before, besides the 250th anniversary, 25 years since 9/11, and the people in Long Beach know when that flag goes up.
Wow.
The next thing coming is the Waterfront Warriors Week. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, then put those two numbers together, 250 and 25.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
A big one.
Well, again, the Tunnel to Towers thing, when we were at that fundraiser, they had those 25-year, and I was like, math-wise, I could figure it was 25 years ago. It doesn't feel like it. Some days it feels like it was last week.
Yeah, yesterday,
Sometimes
right?
it feels like it's a long time ago. And like I said, everybody had gone over to Harry Ford's. It just brought it right back. Yeah. Which was a horrible Father's Day event, fire, whatever.
And that was in 2001 too, wasn't it?
It was right before.
Yeah, in June.
That was one of the most.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest losses in the fire department, right?
That and the Father's Day, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then 9/11.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what keeps you motivated to continue to do this?
It's great. It's a great thing to do. Huh?
I got a few. I really went off the our conversation, but I do have a couple. I'm going to look at some questions I might not have gone over. But you're a terrific guest. I got to tell you, it's our first podcast, and I couldn't have asked for a better guest.
Don't tell your son that.
Which one? I have three of them. Fred McMurray, my three sons, right? You do so. This is a question I wanted to ask you. You were a captain in the fire department. You led men before. Does the running the organization, being involved in the organization, does it have some crossover from the training you received in the fire department?
The one thing that I know is very similar is firemen want to be firemen. So you have a workforce that wants to go to fire. So people that volunteer, I'm saying it as a joke, you can't fire them or cut their wages. People come down to volunteer because they want to help. And people come back and volunteer year after year because it's so uplifting. So to provide that service and to get to know these families, like I'm godfather of one of the guests. Yeah.
Oh, so you got to tell us about that.
Oh, it's a fantastic story.
I knew there had to be some more.
Sergeant Louis Ramak was from Corona. I'm from Flushing. So I met him in Walter Reed. He had gotten blown up 3 times. The last time he lost his legs. So when we would visit, Cynthia Mays was a Marine working at East. So that was in Bethesda. She was working in the Marine section, right? So they were all still in the Marine Corps. They were all in uniform. So she met Luis, and eventually they got married. So we became so close over time that her daughter, she asked me to be the godfather. The amazing thing was, I'm going to get the story's right. I might have, like, it's my story. It's true.
Yeah,
But I
and
just
you're
don't know
sticking to
exactly
it.
what day was what. She got out, I think, on the 30th. Got married on the 31st. They were of different ranks, so she got in trouble, for real, because.
Oh.
Yeah.
She had the higher rank?
No, he did.
He did.
He did.
Oh.
But she got in trouble.
She got in trouble.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
she had met him coming from Germany on the helicopter. That's where they met.
In Germany?
No,
Or
no,
coming to
no.
helicopter?
He came. They go to Germany and then they fly to the United States, and then she met. He met him at Walter Reed. So anyway, she had a child, Catherine, born 9/11, and then she has a son, Benjamin,
Wow.
born 9/11.
No way. Unbelievable. You can't.
I can't make it up.
You can't make it up.
Yeah. So Catherine is
Yeah,
my.
that's my. So just
Catherine's
Catherine. Yeah, you talked about July 18th, my mother's birthday. That's
Yeah.
my mom's name, Catherine.
Yeah.
So I love that name. And my
Yeah.
sister. It's a great name. That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
So you godfather to Benjamin or
No,
Catherine?
no, Catherine.
Catherine.
Catherine. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
9/11. That's like you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
What a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And
And
where
what
do
a
they
beautiful
live?
couple, too, Marie.
Yeah.
They're out in Manorville.
Oh.
They got a house for BFOT, building homes for here. Building
Yeah,
homes for
yeah.
some.
Mhm.
Not Delta Towers, but they have a smart home out in Manorville, like in horse country out there. And they are coming.
Were they both injured in the war?
No. She was working. He was injured, and she was working in Walter Reed, and that's where they met. So. Yeah, so they'll be here the 18th.
So I got a little. What gives you hope today?
I don't know. Life's good. Life's good.
Does this stuff give you hope? The being involved in helping people gives you hope for humanity.
Oh, yeah.
On a small, on the local level, right? Helping people.
Well, you brought it up because there's so many volunteers in Long Beach. For instance, one time somebody was leaving, a guest was leaving, and he said, can you give me some of the names, of the volunteers? And we want to send them thank yous. So I was thinking about it for a minute. I said, I really can't. So like Randy Dodd and Andy Cunningham and 100 people just set up the parade. There's like 50 firemen, the Hagans, Delgados, all these guys. They do the barbecue. You can't even get near them. You have to be in this company, that company. They have their own barbecue section. They run the whole thing. We don't do anything. And every day, all these volunteers, Jane Blackburn does the food for the whole week. You know what I mean? Like,
how many volunteers are? How many volunteers?
That's what I mean. I don't even know.
You don't even know. It's
No,
amazing.
There's people that come
Hundreds.
down. There's people that come down. We don't know. Say, people come down the beach. Say, how can we help? So it's pretty interesting because they tell them like they eat in their chairs. So we have beach chairs on the ocean, and we tell them bring them their food. So we walk down with pizzas. So volunteers go down. What do you want? They go and get their sandwich. We treat them like royalty. And to be able to do that, to be able to interact with them, and meet them on that level, it's fantastic. It's so uplifting. Yeah.
It's amazing. So I'm going to do a little called rapid fire. We're wrapping up the podcast. I can't thank you enough, Jerry. So give me 3 words that describe a wounded warrior.
Resilient, courageous, dedicated.
3 words that describe a firefighter.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know. I'll pass on that one.
A great lesson that you learned from the FDNY.
I just learned a lot. I mean, I still meet with guys that I came on the job 40 years ago. So firemen, I tell my son, firemen stick together. So when I got ill, there was people calling me, how you doing? You need a ride? All the time. And so the firemen stick together, they watch out for each other. Guys are retired 20, 30 years, they're still meeting. How you doing? Can I do anything for you? It's great. Great community. great brotherhood.
What's the most memorable Long Beach waterfront warrior event that you recall? What's the most memorable to date? Maybe this year we'll top that one, but let's see if we can.
We had Tara Hutchinson. She was in the Army. She ended up in the center of the Marine Corps magazine. The Marines sent down a photographer because we had a bunch of Marines up. So Cliff Scooten had her in the war. She was a high single amputee sergeant, right? Yeah, Army. She was in the water for 3 hours, finally got up on one leg and got a ride. It ended up, that picture was in the centerfold of the Marine Corps magazine. They took the picture. It was funny. She was in the water for 3 hours. She would not get out.
Wow, she wouldn't give up.
She was gonna surf, or she was gonna get waterlogged. She'd be there overnight. Fantastic. I mean, everybody was like screaming.
Really?
Everybody's on the shore screaming.
Wow.
Pictures of it. It would have been like a concert with flashing lights if it was that night. Everybody was just loving it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but she would not give up.
That's resilience, right?
Yeah, it.
That's resilience, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That you take a picture, put that in the dictionary next to resilience, right?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah.
That's amazing. What's your favorite place in Long Beach?
My favorite place in Long Beach? Lindell on the boardwalk.
Lindell on the boardwalk.
Yeah. My
why
block.
Lindell? Did you grow up in Long Beach?
No, I'm a Flushing guy.
Flushing guy.
Yeah.
When did you come down to Long Beach?
In the early 80s, I came down. A couple of my friends had a place near Chauncey's.
Oh my.
Had a little
Yeah,
bungalow.
we probably drank together.
Had a couple bungalow across the street from Chauncey's. Couple of firemen.
So funny.
Bunch of firemen.
I came from America with my brothers. They all lived down in Long Beach in the early '80s. Chauncey's, the Arizona.
Well, we were in a cabana on the campus of Chauncey's, like 20 feet away from the back door. So we were all bartending there.
Rolling out of bed. Amazing. Who's the one person that inspired you?
In the fire department, Bernie Mullen. Well, a lot of guys. Bernie Mullen was a lieutenant. Just a really great guy.
I might be related to him. My great-grandmother's name was Mullins.
Yeah, Bernie Mullen. He was, when I got on, he had just come from ladder 103. I think he was in ladder 290, 103, very busy firehouse. And in 1979, he came to ladder 104 as a lieutenant, and I had just gotten in the firehouse. So, Wayne Lang was my lieutenant, Lieutenant Wayne Lang. Same thing, Marine, veteran, Vietnam veteran. There was just so many guys that were so dedicated to being good firemen and passing on what they knew. It was fantastic. Captain Steve McMahon. There was so many guys. Bobby Brown. There's so many firemen, great firemen in that firehouse and that battalion. It was like legends there.
Just listening to your story, you talk about the Marines and, and then your brother and, losing your brother in Vietnam. It just seems like that circle is always, always around you. And with the Marines and the veterans and the fire department, it's pretty inspiring that you always seem to find those people in your life.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how life works sometimes,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing what you do, and really, I'm inspired by you.
Well, I benefit from this.
Sure.
It's one of the best thing I could be doing.
Yeah. Well, and I get that on a level where I help people, and I know how gratifying it is to and then for me it's always anytime I've been in a jackpot and I've had things in my life, it's always what do I do now? I go out and I get out of my own head and I help somebody.
Yeah.
And it's always helped me. So you invited me to do the Tunnel for Towers this year, and I didn't do anything. And next year I started to get in shape, so I'm getting ready for next year. Hopefully I can cut that time in half at least.
Oh, in September they have to run.
I signed up for the run.
The run.
I
That's
did.
another fantastic.
I did.
You can go into Manhattan for the run, take a ferry into Brooklyn, Red Hook, run back into Manhattan. With the ferry you go in front of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, what a beautiful sight.
I mean, people would pay just
Just
for
to do that.
Then you get 50,000 people
That's
run
amazing.
through the tunnel, 40,000, whatever. Then they barbecue for 30,000 people, and you don't have to wait online.
Really?
Yeah.
They barbecue after the
There's a
race?
barbecue and a band there.
And this is Tunnels to Towers?
Yes.
How many people did it? I mean, when, do you know when that organization started? When Frank started?
He started pretty quick. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it probably didn't start. I mean, it's just amazing. And to hear him speak, I mean, I was really blown away. The story about his brother, and actually he was from a family of, I think there were 8 of them,
Yeah.
you know, and I could really identify with that being from a family. And when he said, "Oh no, not Stephen," you know,
Yeah.
really moving when he shares that story,
Yeah.
you know. But you know,
well, look at his example. Look what he's done. I mean, the guy, he's a saint.
Yeah, that's God driven as far as I'm concerned.
He's
You know,
just
that's
a fantastic guy.
Yeah, you know, he's such a gentleman. You know, and after I finished the race, I'll just end with this. I finished the race. I was the only guy who got to wear a headpiece. I got to wear it. They weren't allowing anybody wearing those. So I had my red, white, and blue headband on. I'm sure I told you the story, but it really made the climb worth it. When I turned the corner, I shook his hand. He just burst out laughing. So he has a good sense of humor too.
Hey, he's a great guy.
Yeah, it's amazing organization. And your organization is and the volunteers. It's all, you know. It's amazing how you share, and you don't even know how many volunteers you have, which is what a testament to Long Beach. You know,
people come from all
over. So that's even better.
On like Monday, we build 60 pieces of plywood. I don't do it. Okay, guys come down. They build a platform Monday morning. By lunchtime, the platform is built. There's 4 tents up, 2 35 by 20 tents, smaller tents, a ramp from the hotel to the ocean. They don't have to touch the sand. They can get right down. They build a plywood ramp, and then Long Beach provides the Moby mats, which makes it accessible.
Sure.
It's a blank beach. It's sand at 8 a.m. At lunchtime, the whole thing is built. Friday, it comes off the beach in a couple of hours. It's incredible. Just that part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they build
it's organic almost.
Oh, there's food at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
11 o'clock, they're eating.
It's that beating heart that, you know, pushing
I want to
the blood
mention
all over.
another
Sure,
thing.
please.
There's a captain's organization in Point Lookout. So on Monday and Wednesday, 7 o'clock, anybody who wants to, from the guests, goes down and fishing. So there are boats there worth more than my house.
Yeah, sure.
And these guys, same thing. The whole thing is provided. They have the mates. You know, a lot of them have their sons as the mates. These boats are like fantastic. There'll be a boat that could take 50 people. There'll be 3 soldiers on it. These guys are lined up. The captains are lined up. You know, they don't want to get shut out. They want guests on their boat.
Yeah, sure.
That's all volunteers. And then they do it again Wednesday.
And they provide the boat. They
do everything. Everything.
Nothing comes out of the Warriors'
no,
treasure.
Teddy's and Scotty's down
they all
there.
do that.
It's unbelievable. There's boats lined up.
And they're losing. You know, they're losing.
They don't even. That doesn't even come up.
Yeah,
they say
amazing.
we don't want to get shut out. I
Wow.
know who's going to be there this year already. Guys have already emailed back. I'm in. So they make those days. It's for the soldiers. That's it. That's just one small part of it.
So just tell us again when the event is.
On July 18th is a travel day. It's a Saturday. They all come up. July 19th at 8 a.m. at the Catholic school. And on Grand, there's going to be a 5K fun run. And you get an opportunity to run with the soldiers. That afternoon, the same thing. That day, they set up all these tents. The event starts that day. They have the race with 1 tent. By the afternoon, there's 3 tents up. Big tents. Then at 3 o'clock is the parade through the west end of Long Beach into Long Beach Catholic Regional School. Again, there's a band. Current Company, I believe is the name. Free barbecue. And that's Sunday the 19th. Monday, they go fishing, or the Chop Shop provides them same thing. Colleen Stryker brings them over. And the women all get dolled up, you know, get their hair done. Same thing. That's given to us, given to them, the Chop Shop in Long Beach. Then some of the families go fishing, some go to the chop shop. Then they're on the beach. There's going to be a pig roast Monday on the beach. So they stay on the beach all day. They're surfing at 1 o'clock. Student surf comes down. They surf. Tuesday we go to American Dream in New Jersey with escort, and they surf. Then we go to Rescue One. Then Deputy Chief Ken Serrata, who had the '93 bombing of the World Trade Center.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys joined because of 9/11. Almost all of them, or they were severely impacted by 9/11 with the wars that came. So if it's good weather, we go from Rescue One down to the World Trade Center, and Deputy Chief Ken Serrata, Citywide Tour Commander, tells them the history of the Twin Towers.
Wow.
And exactly what happened with the fire department there. So Ken Serrata, another guy who was retired, came back and helped Sal Casano, who ended up being commissioner. But
Sure.
he came back, another guy who was retired, and came back to help the fire department after 9/11 with reorganization. Oh, these are the dedicated guys.
Sure.
He's living on the island. What does he do after 9/11? Comes back and helps the fire department. So he does. On Monday we go down to the World Trade Center, and all the guests are all ears because they want to know what was the beginning of their going to war, which was 9/11. So it's a fantastic day. Then they're on the beach Wednesday.
Wow.
Same deal. Surfing on the beach.
Action-packed 5 days? Or
Fishing Wednesday. They go deep sea fishing. Get by the the Point Lookout captains take them out. Then have Italian night on the beach Wednesday. Thursday on the beach all day. Kind of getting ready to leave or whatever. They start mellowing out. We're on the beach all day. It's great. Now everybody knows who everybody is. Very comfortable. And then we have a farewell dinner at St. Mary's in Long Beach. Again, thank you, Father Brian. We get that site.
Yeah.
They allow us to use that.
Sure.
And we have Jordan's Lobster, who just had a bad fire.
They
reopened. So they provide 80 lobsters.
So I have to. Sometimes my kids always say, "Dad, it always comes back to you." But I just want to share that, Jordan's Lobster House, my dad was a plumbing inspector, my brother was a plumber. And there was a guy named Harold Arbiter. He owned it before Jordan Lobster House. So those lobster tubs, my dad and my brother put in. So it's just those connections. And you mentioned Rock and Olive, and I told you my other brother had opened Between the Ribs.
Yeah, before.
That was, before, many years ago. So it's, I have that connection, in Long Beach. I knew for many years, knew guys from high school. So it's, I'm glad I invited you as a guest.
Thank you.
Before we started, I was worried about, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? Am I going to have enough time? Should I end it? But we did it, and I just want to close. Jerry, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
For your years of service to New York City, your dedication to our veterans, your continued leadership in the Long Beach community. I know you don't see it that way, but it is. It does exist, and I know you're humble and you have humility. But
all right, we're going to the next subject.
Yeah. No, I'm not finished yet, because I always like to tell those who don't think they deserve it that they certainly do. Your story reminds us that service doesn't end when a career ends.
Mm-hmm.
It simply takes on a new form, and you certainly have proven that.
Okay. Thanks for having me on. The reason I'm on, thank you for inviting me, is to promote the Waterfront Warriors, not me. I want people to come down to the 5K.
Yeah, and
come down to
absolutely.
the barbecue and see and honor these guys who have already given so much. So to have 5,000, 6,000 people on the parade route with a flyover, etc., would be an honor to them. Yeah.
Well, and that's important. So to our listeners, if you'd like to learn more about Waterfront Warriors, get involved or support their mission, please reach out and become part of the effort. Until next time, remember that the most powerful acts of leadership begin with a simple willingness to serve. My name is Patrick Rodgers. This is the Cross County Mediation Podcast. Thank you for listening. Till next time. Thank you, Jerry Snell.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for having us on.